Welcome to Seattle Public Utilities Ask Evelyn Live, where we answer your questions about recycling, compost, garbage, and other trashy topics. I'm your host, Becca Fong, and this week it's all about bringing your waste game to game day. So football season is starting, tailgating's ramping up, and so we have a really good question to talk about how to do that just a little bit more sustainably. Pat logged in. Hey, Pat.
Hey, Becca, how's it going?
It's going good. I like that you got your UW gear on, man.
You bet. Go Dogs.
Represent.
That's right. Hey, so we got a great topic this week.
Absolutely. We're kicking off. I mean, it's kind of nice. I do love this season. Even for those of you who are not sports fans out there, what I do love is that September in the Northwest is still really lovely. And so tailgating kind of really embraces that, right? Is that you're still going out, you're still being outside, you're still enjoying your time, hanging out with friends and family. And this question kind of gets at that.
Absolutely. Before the bitter cold kicks in, and you can get out there and tailgate all day and just hang out and listen to the pregame and all that stuff. I love tailgating's great. So we got some great ideas here. But should we jump right to the question?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so I got the question. It's up. Question comes from Jeanette. Hi, Evelyn. I'm getting ready for tailgating season, and I want to cut down on waste and make cleanup easier. How do I know which plates and utensils are compostable or recyclable? Thanks, Jeanette. So she just, she's into using single-use packaging, which is cool. It's efficient, economical, convenient. So, quick answer on that.
Yeah, so quick answer. The best way to know as far as recyclable plates, we're going to go with those. The best ones that I always like to endorse are these uncoated paper plates, which are recyclable if clean. But these are also compostable as well. Recyclable items all need to be clean, empty, and dry. And then compostable stuff, essentially, it's anything that's marked compostable we'll accept in our, food and yard waste stream. But it's a lot more complicated than that. So Pat, let's get into the details.
Well, exactly. We're talking about commercially compostable. So approved, tested and approved compostable. These are all, thresholds that the packaging industry has to meet through their packaging kind of R&D work. They have to develop packaging that goes through a process of composting so that it adds to the compost finished product. It doesn't take away or add negative elements to it. So recently there's been over the past few months, couple years, there's been a real shift in packaging substrates. This is a deep dive, of course, on paper.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But the coatings, there's all these different coatings, the cornstarch and the rice paper stuff. And so there's different materials. And there was a material called PFAS. And it was basically, there's definitely folks like Kate Kurtz on our staff who know a lot more about this than I do. Yes. But the point is that the industry had to clean up that situation. And now they've moved. Everybody's transitioned to new coatings, and basically what they're trying to do is keep the moisture from bleeding through the plate so that you don't have a lap full of barbecue sauce after lunch. You're actually, so that's the performance that's needed. There's testing, there's requirements. It's all in process. When you now as a consumer see the word compostable, especially if it says BPI, which is the Biodegradable Products Institute from the U.S. Composting Council, you see BPI or CMA or approved, tested and approved compostable, you're good. So I agree with Becca 100%. The plain paper plates, Chinette is one brand that people kind of like refer to those plates as that. There's many brands of makers that make the same exact style of plate. It's a molded fiber plate.
You can see that molding on the back. It's smooth on the front.
It's a pressed, paper fiber kind of situation. So it's great. It's a great product. I highly recommend it. The classic picnic plate, with the scalloped edge around the edge, a little lighter duty, those are totally fine too. So when you get into the printed versions, like if you're going to go buy a, Super Bowl, whatever, printed plate or something like that, or some, even like a fall colors plate that has color on it, those are the ones where they usually have a plastic coating. Yeah. There's some out there that are commercially compostable, but they're rare. So you really got to double check that.
For sure. And one thing I wanted to talk about is utensils too. Like Jeanette, I totally get it. You're tailgating. You just want to bring all the stuff. You're not really invested in washing it or bringing it home. So finding compostable things are really probably your best option more than recyclable, because it's really hard to get stuff from a picnic clean enough to be put in the recyclables, especially a paper product. It's really hard. You got hot dogs, you got burgers, you got potato salad, you got noodles, you got whatever on your plate. It's really hard to get that off. And so most of that's going to have to go to the trash.
That's
right. But I know that this is like impossible to read. It's totally impossible to read.
Yes, impossible.
But what is embossed on here is it says 100% compostable. And those of you who watch the show know that that's always the word that Pat and I are trying to have you guys look for. If it says compostable, not biodegradable, not plant-based, none of that stuff. It's got to say compostable on it to be in our approved compostable packaging.
And that's pretty handy. You can take with you, a little green compostable bag with you to the tailgate. Put all your single-use compostable packaging in that, tie it off, put it in the back of the car or whatever.
Totally.
Go home, throw it in your yard waste bin, done deal.
Yep.
But if you want to up your game, you want to be a more competitive, waste responsible person, then you can start trying to do a little more reusable.
Oh yeah, for sure.
How many people are you hosting at your tailgate? Maybe a dozen? I mean, that'd be a great tailgate party, by the way, if you had a dozen
I know, right?
people, in my opinion.
Let us know. We'll be there.
But, yeah. So, bring it on. Bring the reusables, right?
Yeah.
Even if they go into a bin or a box or a bag in the back of the car dirty, that's only a 30-minute job later the next day when you get home to clean things up and put them back in storage. Dishwasher, sure, whatever. I mean, it's worth it. Just get yourself a set. Go down to Goodwill and get yourself a set of plates that you don't care if they get broken. It's not a big deal if they disappear. If somebody walks away with a hot dog on a plate and you just never see it again. That's the kind of stuff. But those are the reusables, right? We don't need to be on this single-use treadmill, making product just for our convenience. Let's step it up.
Totally. I mean, I've got like the classic camp plate, but actually, I found these because these were at like an event that I was at.
Okay.
These are
preserve.
So nice, Pat. You totally called that out. You're like, I know what that is. And on the back it says celebrate reuse. So they are recyclable, because it's a hard plastic. Let's be honest, y'all know me, I'm a waste nerd. Like I was at something like 3 years ago and these were the plates, right? And they were meant to be single use. And I was like, I'm just gonna take these with me.
Yes.
And I have washed them ever since. I mean, they're super durable. And a lot of like I got kids, so they're hard on stuff. And the fact that these plates are still being used is great.
I agree.
It's a really good option. They're totally affordable.
Yeah, they're a light duty Tupperware product, basically. Totally reusable. I don't know if I dishwash them like many, many, many times. I don't know if the substrate is made to be held up to that kind of heat that happens in a dishwasher. But anyway, when you were first jumping in, folks can buy those plates and they can recycle them, but they got to be clean to be recycled.
Yes,
so
totally.
If you're going to clean a plate, you might as well just use a real plate.
It's true. Well, it does say that they're dishwasher safe.
Okay, good. Did not know that. Good.
And they're made from 100% recycled plastic, and I run them through the dishwasher. So, there's lots of options.
I'm glad you pulled that. I'm glad you clarified that. There's a lot of products out there that are single-use recyclable that are not intended for dishwashers. Like there's a new, I don't have one here handy, but there's a new aluminum cup that's being used a lot in a lot of stadiums. They're really cool. They keep the beverage cold. They feel good. Until it gets to be 0 degrees outside, and then it's going to be like, oh, somebody hold my beverage.
I know, totally.
Anyway, those are not dishwasher safe. Those have a coating inside that is intentionally engineered for single use. This is what we understand. So, not to like throw stones at it. It's a cool cup. It's recyclable, fully intuitively recyclable. I mean, it's an aluminum cup. People know the value of aluminum. It's great. It's a very recyclable success story in the recycling world, really, aluminum. So happy about all that, but just want people for their own personal safety to know those ones should not be running through the dishwasher multiple times, because the coatings are only made for single use, and then they could last a while, but one will never know when they're not any longer in good shape.
Totally. No, it's a really good thing to point out for sure. And I appreciate all you guys who are watching, because you come to us for all the deep dive nerdy waste facts, so we're gonna get it all to you. So Jeanette, Oh,
I
sorry. Go
want
ahead,
to do
Pat.
one more shout out.
Yeah.
I got my shirt on today.
Yes.
Husky
Yes.
Athletic Sustainability. You know, I took a turn. I was on campus there at UW as recycling manager for a few years, and it was a great time. We totally established the UW curb. Didn't establish it. We carried on the program that had been established for tailgate recycling and started composting in the stadium back in 2004 or 5, somewhere in there. So fun times, and they still do it. They collect all the cans and bottles from all the tailgaters, and they put out special compost collection stations around the stadium parking lot. So
there you go.
You know, UW's got it going on. Many of our universities in the Northwest do this now, and it's great to be able to get out there, enjoy, you know, celebrate your team, have a great day, and still kind of be a good waste-wise person in the process.
Totally. I mean, I think that's awesome. Like the fact that you helped to like set that whole system up, it still exists. And I think, you know, Jeanette, your question is perfect, right? So you want to make it easy. You want to make it fun. You're there to enjoy everybody's company and enjoy the game. So when you're choosing stuff, we would encourage you to choose stuff that is compostable, because then you can just have your waste sort station there, you know, put this stuff like right in the green bag. And it sounds like there's bins right at the parking lot that you can put your compost in, or your recyclable items if they're clean. And then like Pat, you know, absolutely reuse, man, right? Like either a light duty reuse or you got, you know, and you guys know us, like Pat and I are always a big fan of like, if you've got a tailgate party going on, bring a couple extra plates, but have your crew bring their own stuff too. You know, like be like, hey, it's a BYOB tailgate. Right. Show up with your own cup, your own plate, your own utensils, and I'll just
napkins, you know.
Exactly. And then that way it's super easy.
Go team.
Absolutely. All right, Jeanette, thank you so much for your question. And those of you who tuned in, we hope that you found some really good waste nerdy deep dive stuff, and you got some good options to select things for your next tailgate or your next gathering. So good reminder, this show is run on your questions, so keep them coming. You can hit us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or send us an email at askevelyn@seattle.gov. And with that, I'm Becca Fung, and life's simpler with less stuff.
And I'm Pat Kaufman. Remember to recycle right, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.